Eric, Xbox isn't dying. All you clickbaiters need to just quit your stuff and quit making up all these headlines. No, it's called having a discussion, and the discussion of the week, ladies and gentlemen, is what the hell is going on with Xbox, and we don't know until Phil Spencer clarifies, which he said in a tweet. We don't know what's going to happen. Every time I've streamed this week, I've had somebody ask me, Eric, do you think Xbox is going to go the way of Sega? And I'm taking a wait-and-see approach. I would not like to see it. I don't want any company to fail, but is this a fail if Xbox goes the way of software development? Not necessarily. Yeah, maybe they lost a console war and everybody has their tribalism and all this stuff. At the end of the day, this week has been quite eventful for Xbox, and I've been closely watching it. Everything that's a developing story, we see certain situations and things pop up. It's like, okay, this is interesting. So there's all sorts of perspectives, all sorts of opinions on this. Mine, I feel, is a little bit more of the fence rider side, maybe leaning towards more like, I don't think Xbox is going to call it quits as far as hardware development goes. There's diehard fans, whether they're Sony or Xbox, they're in, picking a side. You either go this way or that way. I'm more like in the middle. I like to look at it a little objectively. I like to have, there's no absolute reason why they shouldn't go multi-platform. That's leaving money on the table with certain game franchises, but they should also still make hardware. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I don't want to see them go completely. I'm not blindly loyal to either side because, let's be honest, it's a company at the end of the day. They don't care about us, but I do think competition is essential between Microsoft and Sony, and if one of them goes away, it's going to hurt the industry. I want to see Xbox thrive on that. So, yeah, there's been a lot of buzz, a lot of rumors about games potentially becoming multi-platform, including Starfield, including the newly announced Indiana Jones, which is kind of pretty sad. All the speculation around it, that was literally not even announced a month ago, and that was going to be a banger game, in my opinion. That would have been an exclusive. Well, now we got a meeting coming up or some kind of announcement. Phil Spencer said he hears us. He wants to clarify everything about the future vision of Xbox, and hopefully we get a pretty good insight. I hope it's not just some kind of Tony Khan style, I guess, real vague announcement about some kind of small, minute thing. I really want them to sit down and explain it to all of us what's going to happen with the Xbox brand. Not just the Xbox Series X, but Xbox as a whole. The Series X, the Series S, Game Pass, future exclusives, everything like that. Game Pass is probably the thing that most people identify Xbox with at this point. Like, they are synonymous with it by far. And I play lots of Game Pass all the time. Lots of games. It's how I figure games out. It's how I play them. It's how I play them on the go. It's how I play them on TV, the computer, you name it. Game Pass is what hooks most players, I think, at this point. It's their golden ticket. It's what's been driving them profit. So I can see them saying, hey, you know what? Let's stick with the Game Pass Anywhere aspect, the whole cloud ecosystem. But I don't know. A lot of people feel games on Game Pass at times feel rushed, or they feel like they're meh or mid. Lots of times we see these game previews that are like games in early access, like Grounded and Power World, you name that. I think it's a good little incentive. If you play Game Pass, you get access to a game that's not completely out yet. It's kind of cool. Steam has early access games and games that aren't complete. Why can't Game Pass, right? Now, there's games like Halo Infinite. When that first launched, there was a lot of issues with it, so to speak. A lot of problems that let me down and quite disappointing because it was my first Halo game. Now it since then has been patched up. It's had a lot of updates. It's been doing pretty good, but this seems to be kind of like a little issue. A lot of games kind of have like a rocky start when they first come out on Game Pass, and I think it's cool. This whole day one on Game Pass aspect that they had with most of their first party games, I enjoyed it. Sure, Halo had a problem, but it was still pretty good. So the question has always been, is Game Pass turning a profit? Is it still good for the company as it is for people that are subscribed to it? They've invested a lot of money in Game Pass, especially with those day one releases, to the point where Sony even said they would never do anything like that because they don't see it as viable. I think it's great for gamers. I think it's a fantastic thing. It's almost like a modern day blockbuster. You enter the thing, you look at Game Pass, you look at the catalog, you download a game or you stream it and you get to test it out. If you really like it, you could buy it and own it, go to the store or download it digitally and own it. We don't really hear sales figures for Xbox in general, whether it's physical or digital, especially for first party games. They're not as transparent as we see Nintendo or even Sony at that aspect. And I think most of it is because a lot of people are playing these games through Game Pass, honestly. I don't know. We see Game Pass numbers, we hear about subscribers and stuff like that, but never individual game series. But who or what is going on over there when you think of like the layoffs that have happened after this Activision Blizzard merger, or Game Pass's vision or the future of Xbox changing here and them going multi-platform, right? Just the other day, we actually had a GameStop tweet that caused a ruckus. Yeah, it was a advertised Xbox Game Pass demo day, and instead of calling it Xbox Game Pass, they called it Microsoft Game Pass. We talked about that briefly. GameStop did come out and say that it was their bad calling it Microsoft Game Pass, that it was just accidental, like they didn't mean to call it that. But it was deleted really quickly. They could have just edited it, reposted it. Did they accidentally let the cat out of the bag? That was some speculation that was put on there, especially because this whole multi-platform initiative that Microsoft is currently going to. They have said in the past that they would like to see Game Pass go over to other platforms like Nintendo Switch. So I don't know. This could have possibly been a accidental leak on some rebranding. I don't think it's all what we think it is when GameStop just says, oh, it was an accident. I don't know. Let's be completely honest here. With everything shaping up the way it is right now, who knows what's really going on. So we are desperately awaiting some announcements from Microsoft this week. Phil Spencer's got a lot of explaining to do, and I can't help but wonder about the future of Xbox. It will be sad, definitely, to see them go, especially after they've acquired all this stuff. But maybe they wanted to acquire IPs and studios so that they can have a big, huge game catalog and make it multi-platform. Maybe they see, like I said, why limit yourself to being exclusive if your console sales aren't that high? You'll make more money in the long run if those games are on the PlayStation 5 or even the Switch, if they could be compatible on the Switch. I don't know. It's kind of the whole idea of going multi-platform at this stage, even though it seems like not long ago they were determined to make Xbox Series X a success. It feels like a failure in a small way, like not an epic fail, but it does feel like it's an admittance of guilt that I'm not ready for. I want them to succeed, like I said. Or they could surprise us. They could say, hey, case by case, certain games that we feel will do good multi-platform, we'll put them out there. Certain games we're going to keep on Xbox, and we're doubling down. We're keeping the Xbox Series X. We're going to add this new capability. Game Pass is going to be its own separate entity away from our hardware division. I don't know. Either way, this is uncharted territory. The gaming industry as itself, the landscape is evolving, and it's all going to change when Phil Spencer makes his announcement about the future of the Xbox vision. For better or for worse, I don't know. We're at a crossroads. We're at a standstill. We're at a Mexican standoff. So I'm very curious to see how it unfolds. I just need to know, what do you guys think about all this? Do you think they're going to go the way of Sega, software development only, multi-platform initiative? Or do you think they're going to do a little bit of both, like some kind of weird hybrid model? I'd love for you guys to share your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share it to a friend. If each one of you share it to somebody, that would help grow it exponentially. And subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell. Until next time, later. See you around.